Hello everybody. So this is a quick video guide as to how you can go through our interactive activity for our SIG project. Just a disclaimer, this is an abbreviated version for the purpose of the project. The activities that you're going to see within this video will be longer if this or I should say these activities are implemented in an educational setting. The ideal length of this process being implemented would take place over the course of about a year. This is based on the Kirkpatrick model that we all learned about throughout the course of this semester. So it's going to go through the 4 levels, first being reaction, second being learning, third being behavior, and fourth being results. So if you want to pause the video quick, you can grab a sheet of paper so you can follow along with each instrument as we go through them, or you can watch through the video and then go back and go through each section at your own pace. So looking at the level 1 instrument for reaction, we have 2 short activities. The first would be a Likert scale. You would go through each of the prompts and circle numbers 1 through 5, whether you strongly agree, disagree, if you're neutral, agree, or strongly agree. And you'd be answering or circling a number value based on the questions, what AI, or if the AI tool was easy to use, if you felt engaged while you were using the tools, if there was any feedback that you received on your work, and if you would recommend using this tool in other classes. And then we have open-ended prompts. What did you like most about using the AI tool? Quick typo there. What challenges did you face while using the AI tool, and how could the AI tool be improved? Now, as I mentioned in the disclaimer, if this were actually implemented, there would be a list of AI tools that you could use. Just some examples, and obviously it wouldn't be limited to just these few. You could use Grammarly, ChatGPT, Magic School if you were a teacher, since this is going to be framed around for students as well as for teachers. So for level 2, for the learning instrument, for the first activity, just a sample multiple choice question. There would be more of these if it were fully implemented. Which of the following best describes how the AI tool helped with essay writing? Just one activity. A, it corrected grammar only. B, it generated ideas without feedback. C, it offered personalized feedback based on structure and clarity. Or D, it replaced the need for revision. And then activity 2 is an open response prompt. Describe a time when AI helped you improve your understanding of a concept. What did the tool do, and how did you respond? So it's asking you to answer 3 prompts within the question, and you could use, for example, one of the tools that you may have picked for this activity, or some other AI tool you may have used personally or for a different class. For level 3, we have the behavior instrument, the first activity being the observation checklist. So this would be for teachers, if they were implementing this for their students, how AI is used to show student trends, their performance trends, whether it be grades, participation, maybe attendance, adjust lesson plans based on AI feedback. So again, using Magic School as a tool, how that helps the teacher formulate their lessons. Models ethical AI use for students, so how the teacher essentially teaches the students how to use AI in an effective and ethical manner. And engaging students with AI tools for individual learning, so creating individualized learning experiences for the students. And you would go down this checklist, make sure you're hitting all of these points. For activity 2, behavior change rubric. So this, again, could be done for teacher or student. The teacher adapts to instruction based on AI tool output, so rare, occasional, frequent, or consistent. And student reflection on AI feedback is evident. So the student is basically reporting on how they use the AI tool, to what extent, and how it helped them. And now moving on to level 4, results, the instrument. So this is just sample data. Obviously, this ideally would be implemented over the course of a year. So you would be following the progression of students from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So you'll have this data readily available. But just to have some numbers up, there's 3 metrics that we'd be looking at: GPA average. We could put math test scores. If you're an English teacher, social studies teacher, science teacher, so on and so forth, you could change that section. And then the attendance of the student. So you go through how they were before using AI. So you could take their information from the previous year, or if you implement this a little bit later in the year, let's say second quarter, you take their information from the first quarter, how they did prior to using AI, and then you could split up even into more sections rather than just mid-year to end year. You can do it quarterly or maybe by semester, depending on how long you have the kids. You could break it up into 2 or 3 different sections and then go through each of the metrics: grade point average, assessment scores, again, given on whatever class it is you teach, and then their attendance throughout the year. And then the activity analysis problems. So which student group benefited the most from AI integration? This is taking into account general education students, special education students, ENL students, so on and so forth. Are improvements consistent across subjects? So this tool would be beneficial to use in conjunction with other teachers. So if you teach math, for instance, you could potentially have other teachers utilize this metric if they use AI in their classroom and see how they perform in math, social studies, and English, and compare those grades to not only your class but the other information pre and post use of AI. And then what factors may explain plateaus or regressions. So in other words, what factors, while the students are using the AI, may cause students to have their grades level out rather than increase, or you start to see their grades decrease or dip rather than increase. So again, hopefully either you followed along while doing this, or you can, after this video, go through this activity and see how this abbreviated lesson implementation would work.